Shame, shame. House burned down because there was no fire truck. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. Scores of residents were left fuming after discovering that the one unit at the Falmouth Fire Station in Trelawney was out of commission and could not respond to a blaze which destroyed a family dwelling early yesterday morning. The fire was reportedly lit by a 7-year-old autistic boy, and it is said that the unit at Falmouth developed mechanical problems on Tuesday while responding to a call. Community and family members desperately rallied their support in vain to put out the blaze using buckets of water and later a garden hose. When firefighters using one unit from the Iron Shore Fire Station in the bordering parish of St. James arrived on the scene, they could only conduct cooling down operations as the house had already burned down. Meanwhile, a farmer has been charged after a revolver and several rounds of ammunition were found in his bag in Jacksontown in Trelawney on Tuesday. Charged with unauthorized possession of a prohibited weapon and unauthorized possession of ammunition is 28-year-old O'Neill Dyer of Albertown in the parish. Reports from the Stewarttown police are that about 2 p.m., a team was conducting a vehicular checkpoint operation when a Toyota wagon in which Dwyer was a passenger was signaled to stop. The driver complied and a search was conducted. One .357 Magnum revolver and 6 rounds of ammunition was found inside a knapsack belonging to Dyer. He was subsequently arrested and charged. Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson has called for specific legislation that defines new offenses for people who use digital platforms to create public mischief. The Commissioner made that recommendation public on a press conference on Tuesday, noting that social media is becoming an enabler for misinformation. He said there is a growing trend which sees some people using social media platforms to create fear, spread chaos, and disorder. A man is facing charges in connection with threats issued against a member of parliament for Westmoreland Western Moreland Wilson. The incident occurred on Saturday during a protest on the Sheffield Main Road in Negril, Westmoreland about the lack of water and poor road conditions. In a video which has been making the rounds on social media, the man is heard hurling threats at Mr. Wilson, who was at the scene. The man was later arrested on Tuesday afternoon in the community of Retreat while attending his daughter's graduation, and this led to another mounting of another roadblock by residents of Sheffield who demanded his release. DSP Hamilton said the police had to act as there have been similar incidents in Westmoreland where serious offenses are committed following a threat. However, yesterday the MP said he would not be pressing any charges against the man. A man who pleaded guilty to killing his common-law spouse 4 years ago was on Tuesday sentenced to 18 years imprisonment at hard labor when he appeared in the Portland Circuit Court. Elroy Griffiths, a security guard, will be eligible for parole after serving 12 years. Griffiths pleaded guilty on June 21st to the murder of 50-year-old Maureen Johnson. He was also charged with arson, but no evidence was offered. The court heard that on the night of August 20 2019, Griffiths and Miss Johnson had an argument at their home in Buff Bay in Portland. This later escalated to Griffiths using a knife to cut his spouse's throat. She was also stabbed in the abdomen. Griffiths disposed of the knife in a neighbor's yard and allegedly set fire to the house and then fled the scene. Her burnt remains was found on the veranda, and Griffiths was held by the security forces during a raid in Hope Bay in Portland on January 18 of last year. An ex-member of the Jamaica Constabulary Force was among 4 men shot during an attack in Caymanas Gardens in St. Catherine on Monday night. The former cop and party promoter 33-year-old Donovan McLean of a Caymanas Gardens address was pronounced dead at hospital. The other men were admitted, and it's reported that about 10:20 the men were at a car wash along Trax Road at Caymanas Gardens Site A when a white Toyota motorcar drove up. The occupants alighted with handguns and shot the men before escaping. The ex-policeman was then declared dead at hospital. A farmer was charged after he reportedly broke into a shop and attacked another man with a machete before escaping with over 16,000 worth of goods in Warminster in St. Elizabeth on May 24th. Charged with shop breaking and larceny, assault at common law and unlawful wounding is 40-year-old Extol Grady, otherwise called Ranger. Reports from the St. Elizabeth police are that a woman securely locked her shop and left. She received a call about 4 a.m. in the morning that her shop was being broken into. She reportedly went to the location accompanied by a man when they were attacked by Grady, who was armed with a machete. A struggle ensued during which the man was injured. Grady was also injured but managed to escape with a bag containing 16,000 worth of groceries and items of clothing. And following intense investigation, Grady was arrested at his home on Tuesday, July 4th and subsequently charged. Despite the introduction of the state of public emergency, murders continue to plague St. James. Since the start of this week, 2 murders have been recorded as the parish continues to lead the island as the most bloody police division. The latest on record was a man that was shot and killed in the early hours of Tuesday morning. He has been identified as 23-year-old Nicoy Dove, otherwise called Coy of Bottom in Glendevon in St. James. According to police reports, residents heard explosions about 12:07 p.m. and alerted them. On their arrival, Dove was seen with gunshot wounds. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. And just prior to that incident, on Monday, 58-year-old farmer Lenroy Buchanan, otherwise called Sonny Boy, was shot and killed by unknown assailants in his community of Rosemount. Reports are that about 5:30, Mr. Buchanan was on the roadway playing with a group of children when he was attacked and shot. He was taken to hospital where he also died. The St. James police are investigating both incidents. Meanwhile, a businessman was slapped with several charges after allegedly shooting another man during a confrontation on Beeston Street in Kingston. Charged with wounding with intent, possession of a prohibited weapon, unauthorized possession of an ammunition is 42-year-old Derville Thompson, otherwise called Indian or Coolie of Love Lane in the parish. Reports are that Thompson approached and confronted a man about a dispute he had with someone else. Thompson then pulled a firearm, shot the complainant, and escaped on foot in the area. The police were summoned and the man was transported to hospital where he was admitted and treated. On Sunday, June 25th, Thompson was arrested by the police and was subsequently charged on Monday, July 3rd. On to sports, the changing of the guard in the men's 100 meters could be completed tomorrow evening at about 8:55 following the finals of the second day of the Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association, the J3A National Championship at the National Stadium. The 3 men to represent Jamaica at the World's Athletics Championship in Budapest in Hungary in mid-August could all be under age 23. Akeem Blake, the young one, has set the pace with 4 races under 10 seconds and wind legal topped by a personal best of 9.89 seconds. Standing in his way though could be Oblique Seville, who was 4th at the World Championship last year and who it is reported is now over an injury that interrupted his preparation. Seville has raced only 5 times so far this year, including 2 races at the Miramar Invitational and the Adidas Atlanta City Games, but is unbeaten with a season's best of 9.95 seconds. There is also significant expectation from 2 schoolboys, Kingston College, Boboji Nkrumah and Herbert Morrison's DeAndre Daly, who some expect to force their way onto the team. Nkrumah has not raced much since his blistering national under-20 record of 9.99 seconds at the Issa Boys Champs after pulling up in the first round of the Character Games in the Bahamas. Since coming back from his injury, he has run twice, clocking 10.42 seconds and 10.34 seconds, and it will be seen whether he has fully recovered in this race tomorrow. Daly, on the other hand, has lowered his personal best 10.08 seconds, making him the second fastest Jamaican ever at age 18, and under the guidance of Coach Claude Grant, he could run even faster this weekend. Among the elders, there is still Johan Blake and Julian Forty, who could upset these youngsters, but we have to wait and see tomorrow evening. And if you ever miss the news on this radio station, please go to YouTube, type in Jamaican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep it going. That's going to be news and sports on your favorite radio station. This is Mikey Bones. I gone.